There's a complete governance deficit in UPA 2, and that syndrome is spreading to all ministries, and the Congress party is clearly and gladly adding to the mess. Post 26/11, we had heard the Home Minister say that he would attempt to get greater coherence among the various investigative wings and also the intelligence agencies. But now what we find that the Home Ministry is actually moving from one human error to another. Today, as you all probably know, in a very critical, sensational and very sensitive case, we've come to know that the CBI has gone with an expired warrant to obtain the extradition of Kim Devi in the Purulia arms drop case. And the CBI there too, we are not surprised, the CBI there too claimed human error, a matter of oversight. Very much the excuse the Honorable Home Minister has given us in a matter related to the top 50 most wanted criminals in India. It happened yesterday, today we hear another human error dominating a ministry which after 26/11 gave the country a promise, a hope and an expectation that things will be improved and improved in a manner that this country will feel proud about. Or on the contrary, one after the other, the human errors are leading to such embarrassment, not just within the country, but even outside. This actually is a feature, if you notice, of the drift that this UPA 2 is showing within the first 2 years, a directionless drift resulting in absolute deficit of governance. A directionless drift which is leading the Indian citizen to look up and wonder what is happening as regards their issues dominating them, whether it is corruption or price rise, but a failure of governance, which was in a very, very suave manner described by the Home Minister himself in an international forum, if I remember correct, as governance deficit. And today we are seeing example after example to underline that this drift is resulting in governance deficit. We saw 2 examples coming from that ministry, for which the Home Minister also told us that he would speak up for his ministry, but not so much for the UPA and its performance. But that ministry which gave so much of hope today has second explanation to give on lack of oversight. And we also hear very enthusiastic references being made to what happened during NDA time. They have no right to talk about anything. I think if history is what they are interested in, they should have learnt lessons. Even if I want to go by their example and by their quoting whatever happened earlier, what have you learnt out of it, if at all? You suspect something went wrong. We don't suspect anything went wrong. But you don't seem to learn lessons either. The BJP feels that the Home Minister, instead of preparing for a political exchange on the charge that we made, that UPA's height of incompetency, I repeat those allegations that we made, that there is a height of incompetency in the UPA today. The BJP feels that the Home Minister, instead of preparing for a political exchange on that charge that we leveled against the UPA, that there is a heightened level of incompetency, should now focus on his ministry and ensure that there are no such future embarrassments that this country has to face. We are talking about governance deficit in the UPA. We are also talking about a drift, a directionless drift. The Karnataka governor is a classic case where he is almost like becoming like a history sheeter in terms of constitutional impropriety. This is the second time the governor has asked for bringing in the president's rule, and again he had to eat his words himself. There's not a word of reprimand, leave alone a question of removing this governor whose position clearly is untenable. He should be removed instantly. The governance deficit, I said, is becoming all pervasive and is across the board, going over to all ministries. In the south, already grain and pulses have started coming to the market. Farmers are reaching FCI godowns. Procurement is not taking place. FCI godowns are full of grain, almost nearing a rotten state, or they are stocked with grains which have never been lifted over the last year. As a result, some partial attempt to restore some kind of a normalcy is happening in Andhra Pradesh, for instance, where the Congress is governing and the Agriculture Ministry here is seized of the matter, we are told. But the effect is some schools are being taken for procuring the grains which are coming in, but insufficiently at that. Farmers are being sent back without grains being procured from them, leave alone talking of giving minimum support price. There is a serious crisis in terms of food grain procurement in Andhra Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh, which produces paddy in a large scale today, is seeing farmers being sent away and becoming prey to the rice millers and middlemen. And this from a government where the two ministers in the union cabinet dealing with agriculture don't see eye to eye on the matter. One says export the paddy, create open spaces for them to, the FCI godowns to receive the grains, and the other says no export. We do not know where they stand. A directionless drift also in that ministry, affecting the farmers in Andhra Pradesh, which is considered to be a rice bowl. And today the Congress government there, Congress in UPA here, have no answer for it. And the division between the two ministers is resulting in farmers suffering in Andhra Pradesh. Again, on the matter of farmers, you find that there is a directionlessness, especially when there is an overzealous attempt by the Congress's general secretaries themselves to go and approach farmers and find out what is worrying them. They betray all sense of overzealousness and exaggeration, but no concern for the farmers. Where were the general secretaries of Congress when the same thing happened in Andhra Pradesh? Farmers' lands were being taken by force, people were shot at, 2 people died due to police firing. General secretaries of Congress did not reach there. They reach only UP. Farmers elsewhere, land procurement problems elsewhere, and in a Congress-ruled state is not appearing to them at all. So the drift, the directionlessness is for everybody, and their concern is only where it matters to them. Farmers elsewhere don't matter. We charge today that the UPA2's level of incompetency is peaking, and it's become all pervasive. Level of incompetency, I repeat, is peaking, and it's become all pervasive. And I wonder if the government does care about it at all. The second issue which we want to bring to your notice today is of the Sri Krishna Committee report. we all are aware of the fact that it's now almost 5 full months after the submission of the report. This report had a section called Section 8, Chapter 8. It was also referred to as a note. That Chapter 8 was also referred to as a supplementary note, a secret note, and it was separately put in an envelope, sealed envelope, and given to the government. The report is about 505 pages, came up with 6 different possible solutions for dealing with the Telangana problem. And the report itself said Chapter 8 was guiding them to give at least 3 of the solutions that they've come up with. Of the 6 solutions they came up, 3 were guided, even by the report's own admission, by this Chapter 8, but which is not available for any one of us to see it. It has been separately submitted in a sealed envelope to the government. So whether it is the Congress party or the opposition parties or any stakeholder, all of us are reading the 505-page Sri Krishna Committee report, wherein 3 of the suggested 6 solutions were guided by that Chapter 8, but that Chapter 8 is kept secret. No one of us know about it. And we are poring over the report to know what are the solutions which the government may possibly come up with. The BJP, as all of you all know, had boycotted the committee then, and we boycotted because we believed then and we believe now that the Telangana issue needs a political solution and no committee can come and give us answers for it. We still believe in that point, and committees are not going to give us solutions for dealing with issues affecting the Indian polity. The Congress party is definitely not wanting to take a decision on it. Their answer is procrastination. They're delaying the answers, and as a result, there is a great degree of uncertainty in Andhra Pradesh, and therefore we demand today that this Chapter 8, that secret note, that section which went as a supplementary note in a sealed envelope, be made public immediately.